Good evening, everyone. In the playlist Digital Image Processing using MATLAB, we have understood what is a binary image, a grayscale image, and a color image in the previous video. In this video, let us understand what is a volume image, a multispectral image, and the real life scenarios where all these different types of images are used. We know image is a two-dimension function, and each point in the image is called as a pixel. So the two dimensions are the spatial coordinates x and y. If you have the third dimension z, that is called as a voxel image or a volume image. In this image below, we can see this is how this model looks like when you capture a 2D image. But if you capture a 3D image, we also have the depth information. The same goes with this image as well. This is just a normal pixel where it has x coordinate and the y coordinate. But if you want the depth information, that is the z axis information, the third dimension, we call it as a voxel, and the corresponding 2D image is known as a 3D image. But because volume images are 3D and video is also referred to as 3D, are they same? In volume images, the three dimensions are x, y, and z, whereas in video, there are three dimensions which are x and y, and the third dimension is the time t. The x and y is called as the frame. Suppose you have a frame 1 at time t1, next you have another image or frame at time t2, at time 3, t3, so on. This is just like a flip book, where each page of the flip book is an image or a frame, and every time you flip it, the each second, each time interval is referred to as the third dimension time interval. So, though both volume and video are three dimensions, they have different coordinates representing different parts of an image. Why do we require the depth information? The depth information is helpful when we want to find the distance between two objects. This is helpful, for example, in autonomous cars. You have a car which has an ADAS system installed in it, and your car cameras are able to identify that there is another vehicle in front of you. That is only using the x and y coordinates. How far is that car in front of you? To know that, we need the depth information. So this is helpful during navigation, wherein some semi autonomous cars, they will guide you that there is a car in front of you at so and so distance, so it will warn you that you have to apply a brake or reduce your speed. Whereas in SAE level 5 fully autonomous, it will automatically reduce the speed or apply the brake by knowing the distance. In such cases, we need this depth information to determine the distance between two objects. Next we have is the multispectral image. So a multispectral image is also a color image. That means it has more than one matrix to store the image values, but it has more than three channels. For example, the image shown here is a multispectral image. As you can see, there is infrared channel 1, 2, 3, and the RGB image, which is another 3 channels. So totally 6 channels are there. The multispectral image has less number of channels when compared to a hyperspectral image, which has almost hundreds of channels. Where do we use this multispectral or hyperspectral? Where we want high definition satellite images. Now let's understand where these different types of digital images are used in the image processing domain. Firstly, let's take a black and white image or a binary image. So this is a normal image, and these two images at the bottom, image E and image F, which I've taken for representation purpose, is an example of black and white image. Suppose you have an image and you want to segment it. This is the image, I think, of a kidney. You want to know whether there is a tumor or a kidney stone and what is the width of the stone and all those things. So you have to segment the image. What do you mean by segmenting here? Here it's a binary segmentation. So all the image pixel values which are belonging to the kidney are represented by white foreground, which is the actual information that is required. and all the other parts of the pixels or the image which are not part of the kidney are represented as background by the black color. So in binary segmentation, the output image that you get after the segmenting, basically you are dividing the image into different parts. Here we are dividing it into two parts: foreground, which is the information where required, where you need to analyze whether there is a tumor or a stone, and the background part which is not required. All this part except the kidney is not required, right? That is the background part which you are representing it by the black color. So in binary segmentations, the output that we get is a binary image. Where do we use the grayscale image? Usually, the color images occupy more space, and when we want to process, we first convert the color image to a grayscale image, and if further required to binary image and do all the processing. Because the grayscale image uses only one matrix as compared to RGB image which uses three matrices. Therefore, the memory that is required to store and process and the time, everything will be reduced. One more case where we can use this grayscale is on your Android or iPhone. Go to settings and type color correction. Now this window, second picture here, will show up. Usually color correction will be off, and when you switch on the color correction, by default it will be at red and green. You can also select the grayscale. Again, the spelling GREY or GRAY, it is US or British accent. If you select the grayscale color correction, whatever you view on your phone, for example, on the Android phone, I've opened the Prakashika YouTube channel. We have uploaded only color videos, but on your phone screen, it looks like a grayish image. Why is this grayscale mode important? According to this link, the grayscale mode helps to overcome the phone addiction, and it makes a device less enjoyable. Most of the students or even adults, including children, they're more attracted to phone nowadays. That is because the phone looks very attractive with all the colors that are popping. In order to make it less enjoyable, we can convert our phone screens to grayscale, so we are not involved in doom scrolling. You can refer to this link and change your settings to grayscale mode on your Android as well as iPhone. Then where do we use the color image? All the images that we capture normally from our DSLR camera, from our phone camera, or the cameras that we use at functions, or the images that we see on a TV screen, mobile phone monitors, all those are RGB color image, which is the true color image. This is the colors that the humans perceive with their eyes, and it is a representation of the at Satellite images are raster images that is used in GIS. What is GIS? GIS stands for Geographic Information System. Nowadays, using satellite image, drone image, remote sensing is done to monitor the forest cover. Has there been any deforestation and you have taken some steps to reduce the deforestation? Has it helped you reduce the deforestation and increase the forest cover? No, determine what is the length of your plot lake without actually going there and surveying. And there is a platform or a tool called as QGIS, Quantum GIS, to do all these things. Here I have done something called as georeferencing. For this I have used tn.jpj, which is a satellite image, which is a raster image. So again, images are broadly classified into raster and vector based on the file extensions, and this is a satellite image which is a raster image. Now here I have georeferenced it, taking this image, and if you see this tn.jpj, it has three bands: band 1, band 2, band 3, which is again red band, green band, and blue band in the satellite image. So this is one useful case in the real life where we use the raster satellite images in GIS applications. Where do we use volume images? This is an image that I have taken from MATLAB, and this is an example of volume images with respect to the brain, the CT scans. The X-ray is a 2D picture, and the third dimension, when you include it, what we get is the CT scan images. Apart from this, the volume images can also be used in 3D printing. For example, you have created a 3D model, uh, and you want to print it. So there we need the depth information before we are printing in, whether you are using additive or subtractive type of manufacturing. Or again, in manufacturing sector, you have already manufactured some board or some automotive part or any mechanical part. You take a 3D picture of that, where you don't just have the information about the x and y, but also about the height or the depth. That information can be used to analyze whether whatever you have manufactured is as per your requirement or is there any defect. Also, volume images or 3D images can be used to create weather maps. What are the types of images that are supported in MATLAB? If you click on this link, it shows the different types of images that are available in the image processing toolbox of the MATLAB software. One is the binary image, grayscale image, monochrome or intensity image, true color image or color image or RGB image, then multispectral and hyperspectral image. What we have not seen in the videos is indexed image and the label images. At the bottom, and in this table, they have also given a brief description and few sample pictures. What is an indexed image? An indexed image has an image matrix and a color map. Suppose this is the image that you have taken, and these are the values that you see. These are not the pixel values, these are the indexes. Corresponding to a particular index, you can define your own color map. And grayscale, true color, high definition images, multispectral images, then label images. We saw segmentation, binary segmentation, where we had divided the image into two parts, foreground and background. You can also divide the image into multiple parts. Here, what that is what they have done. All the yellow color is basically the background, and the blue color refers to the leaf, dark blue, and the light blue color refers to the petals. So each color here is representing a label after the segmentation. See you in the next video. Thank you.